Alright, match found. They are locked in. They are selecting mods and catalysts, and we're going to switch over to that view in just a moment.
Alright, so in my opinion, I'm going to have to go... Man, I want to make a pick here, but it's so scary.
It's so tough with these off compositions.
3, 2,
I think Guy Logic has a little bit of an edge based off the draft phase alone, because they have the firepower that can stay really far back in Grim Relations. They've got the two frontliners that can stay really far forward, and you have to basically pick one of the two to try to focus down, and then you just basically let the other one go do whatever they want, and that's not good in any situation. Then you have to Finn staying back, throwing the bubble, throwing the AoE heals like you mentioned as well. I think it's going to be hard for them to stave off this charge from Guy Logic. However, it is Team Trash. They are at the top of the charts for a reason, and we got to see what they have in mind for this game.
Alright, both teams loaded. Just a matter of moments before we get into this action. So chat, make your final predictions. Let everybody know who you are rooting for this match and what you want to win. Because once the game starts, I am sure that it will be fast and furious into this combat.
This one is just for pride and a little prequel to the tournament. Nobody can change seeds or move up and down in the standings off of these two matches. So this is just a great exhibition match that we're going to get to sit in on. It's going to be fantastic. I just know it.
And really, that's what we're here for. Some excellent played games, regardless of how the tournaments turn out at a later point. Looks like Malediction and Bowie, as we expected, running directly up the middle. Titus taking a forward spot on the side. Gray splitting off. Wololol and Safil in the back.
We have seen this so many times from Team Trash. Gray, if they pick Gray, Gray goes off by herself, all by her lonesome on the other side of the map. The other three cluster up on the opposite side, and Gray just kind of does her own thing. In this case, his own thing with Cranor playing.
Shoo! Sorry, talking to one second.
I'll be curious to find out if it's Mighty Cork, giving might to the firepower in the back, or not.
Malediction dashing around on Wololol. The bird coming out, but not really hitting anything. Goldfish going to try a spray from the back, but Titus did not dash in, as Honey Badger does see Titus and put some damage down on both his dash spot and directly on him. Wololol will do just a tiny bit of damage.
Look at that smart denial for the two frontliners from Guy Logic, picking up both might buffs, making sure the Celeste cannot pick either one of them off right at the beginning of the game. And look at their positioning as well. Basically, Avaki is surrounded. He is the frontliner, and he doesn't want to be there. That's a bad spot, even if you are Titus.
Yeah, going deep into the enemy team, trying to keep some focus, but he does not have a lot of healing and is not tethered up just yet. Malediction putting down some shielding and some damage reflections. Sophia will be the one to go ahead and get the healing. It does not look like there's might on that, as Avaki catches all three in the shout and then all three in the spin as well. They will be weakened. There will be some slowing going on, but definitely a lot of damage coming in.
Well, no Mighty Cork, but there is a Pepper Titan special on Titus. He has the heal mod on his dash at least. We haven't seen the basic attack just yet, but he definitely healed 15 off of that turn just by hitting 3 individuals.
So that's why he wanted to be all by his lonesome. However, the trap laying down, hitting the enemy team, and Wololol and Safil both being stuck where they are will not be able to come to the aid to the rest of their team. Malediction running directly in between the two to guarantee some good damage. The Lone Hunter again off on the side.
Yeah, basically Guy Logic sticking together, doing what they need to do. Cranor off on his own still with the Gray, trying to get in good position to start returning some of this damage. Has taken a little bit, but not too much. I think Avaki and Malediction kind of in bad positions. Not really bad positions, but as in they've made a bad decision, but unfortunate positioning for their characters to be in.
Definitely a smart move to lock them down there, as Malediction does damage to both of them with the spin. Neither one willing or able to dash out at this point. Damage going down on both from Honey Badger as Goldfish continues to spray Avaki since he's the only target available to him. Avaki able to focus down Gremlins as Wololol can hit them as well. So hitting the only person multiple people can hit. Safil finally able to get that tether on Maldiction, and Cranor comes in with a long-range downtown shot to get the kill. Bowie throwing Avaki out to the side. And an early pickup for Trash.
Yeah, Bowie saying, you want to fight, buddy? I'll fight you. Just get away from my team first. Avaki, by the way, does have the heal mod on his basic attack as well. I saw him healing up when he smacked Grimalations in the face with that big sword he's got.
He's on surprising health right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's all because of that, like I said, the Pepper Titan special, the mod build for Titus.
Surprise, surprise.
We're gonna throw out that Turtle Tech just to make sure they survive, but Goldfish is healing, not doing damage, so no danger of death here as the field heals them even further, going straight back up. Avaki piercing through to hit both Goldfish and Bowie as Wololol managed to trigger the dagger on Goldfish as well as pick up some health directly out in front of the enemy team. Drone coming in to deal damage on both Goldfish and Honey Badger, and looks like the slow coming down means that these tanks will be stuck in the corner fighting each other for quite some time.
Honey Badger not having fun over there where that health would have been while they on Celeste, playing that little Celeste minigame, stealing the buffs away from long range, took that health globe for herself. Also has the Cork tether to make sure he stays healthy all the way through this match. Looking good on HP. Would have been in very bad trouble if that Cork wasn't attached this whole time.
And they definitely picked the right target. Cranor's off on their own. Avaki is self-healing himself through this entire match. Wololo would be almost dead, but this Quark managing to really not even doing the damage, not a battle Quark, just sticking directly on Wololo and saying, you will stay alive, as another three-person spin from Avaki, triggering their own dagger on Bowie. Cranor coming in from the side to focus down Goldfish. They need to stop these side damages from coming in because they are getting focused down extremely hard. Wololol and Sephiel off on the side. The bubble coming down, and Avaki starting to take some damage, but still somewhat healthy. And with an ultimate right here and three people in front of him, this does not look good.
Oh man, Guy Logic has got to get out of here. A turn 7 Titus ultimate coming into your face. Definitely going to kill the Goldfish on Dr. Finn if he doesn't get away. Probably going to be close to Honey Badger as well. Bowie doesn't really care. He's going to get his ult off of it. But, I mean, obviously you don't want to take 50-some odd damage this early in the game.
Tight cluster in the side. We'll see what they can do to get out of this. Looks like some overcharging going on Sephiel as they super heal Wololol right back up to close to full. Both Honey Badger and Bowie will dash over there, but with the healing going on, still at 3/4 health, Goldfish going to finally put down some damage on that Cranor on the side, who tries to pick him off a prediction when nobody there. Goldfish going to take some damage from the bombs, and Avaki still managing to hit the entire enemy team thanks to those dashes.
Cranor absolutely trying to predict a catalyst flash away from Dr. Finn, perhaps behind that wall to try to get away from the Titus. Chooses to just use the eels, use the Turtle Tech, I think. A big mistake there. Should have just held on to that because it didn't really make a difference in the end anyway. And it looks like two more members of Guy Logic, Honey Badger and Bowie, in some serious danger right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, they were both caught in Avaki's ultimate ability last turn, that Cataclysm, taking them both extremely low. Well, Bowie will get some extreme healing back. Honey Badger has almost no hope of healing in the immediate future.
Miniature reactor!
And a miniature reactor just going up and topping off most of Trash. Trash in a seriously good position here as Cranor manages to put some darts down on Maldiction, has the ultimate available, as does Wololo. Honey Badger, extremely low health, tries to poke out some damage before they go down. Bowie gonna catch 3 people in the ultimate, so very solid damage there. Might be what they needed.
Try and hurry. It'll do you no good.
Cranor trying to poke some damage in, not able to get it. Avaki swinging for that Honey Badger. That will be the finishing shot, but Wololo says, no, I want to make sure, as they deal 62 damage, and then the drone as well, putting Bowie down at 5.
Yeah, Bowie trying to fetter over and lock a couple people down, get a nice ultimate off, which he did. However, didn't get far enough away to get away from that Celeste ultimate that basically spelled his end. He does have his dash available since his ultimate resets all of his cooldowns. Keep that in mind. but does he want to use it now or save it for when he respawns after he goes down this turn?
Well, Malediction's going to jump in and try and give him some shield. It looks like Bowie's going to try and get out of this here, but Trash up to an early 3-0 lead. Safil's going to throw down the Turtle Tech, expecting some major damage coming back in, and boy, are they right.
Behold, an angel of vengeance.
Look at that awesome Razor skin as well. If you guys don't have that, definitely check those out. Just massive damage coming in. A mighty ultimate from Malediction, able to put significant damage down, but both of Blue Team ends up inside of that trap. Kranor and Avaki both going to hit Malediction. Not taking a lot of damage because of that shield. Safil healing up Avaki just a little bit.
Yeah, Team Trash putting on a clinic on how to deal with Devil frontliners, especially how to deal with the Rask. And I'm super impressed right now with Avaki's Titus play. He has been devastating for the enemy team here. Guy Logic has no answer for him right now.
Malediction and Bowie both able to get damage on Kranor. We'll see if they do anything with this ultimate this turn, as Safil just overcharging away, this time healing back up that frontliner Titus. Some healing coming down from Goldfish, trying to keep Bowie up and alive, but not getting the healing that Avaki's getting right now, as Wololo sets down another trap ready to go. That dagger coming down on Malediction, avoiding any cover bonus that they might get. Honey Badger's ultimate comes out, hitting 3 members of the enemy team for between 30 and 40 damage apiece. But spread out damage is not what they need right now, as Wololo hits Bowie and Malediction hits Kranor. Kranor going extremely low, but putting both of the enemy team in the trap. The reflection damage will put them at only 6 health. But that does manage to take down Rask as he runs directly through the trap, as does Malediction.
Bowie on Rask made the classic mistake moving when Gray has her ult available. I kind of thought that's exactly where it was going to be. Gray can put it right on top of herself. And that's exactly what Kranor decided to do in that situation. Locked in both frontliners there, basically.
Looks like a lot of dashing this turn. Safil just trying to keep up Avaki as high as possible. Avaki's dash misses Malediction because Malediction and Kranor both dash out here. Goldfish managing to only catch 2 of the enemy team instead of 3. And Wololo a whiff as well. Honey Badger now is taking that sniper spot that Gray once had, locking Wololo in position for some damage next turn.
Yeah, keeping Celeste out of cover, right where she does not want to be most of the time. Kranor really in a tough spot here. Does he have dash available? He does. He has his dash available, but it's right over near the enemy team anyway. So does he just take the death? Does he try to trade? What is he going to do?
We'll find out in just a moment, as Malediction Turtle Tech's in the middle of this enemy team. Wololo was debating going for the heal, but decided to go for the extra damage on Malediction. Safil also going to lock in, and Kranor going to hit for it as well. Excellent team focus as they bring Malediction extremely low. Honey Badger not able to hit Wololo because of the dash, but does get a 3-person hit. Some massive damage coming out there. Avaki continuing to heal. Malediction in a tough spot, but so is Wololo.
That's the power of Asana. Basically, if you go anywhere near her when she's getting ready to attack somebody, she does such an extreme range of damage around her. I think it's probably about 300 degrees around her, almost all the way. And, I mean, you're going to take damage if you get anywhere near her, within 2 squares, I think.
Can you keep up?
Dash from Malediction and from Safil and Wololo, managing to disengage from that cluster in the center. Honey Badger gonna find Avaki sitting on that health. Bowie not able to hit anybody, and neither is Goldfish with that ultimate, as everybody had cleared out. Excellent timing from both teams. Avaki trying to follow that Goldfish and Malediction off to the side. Bowie and Honey Badger going after Safil and Wololo.
Malediction does have the Asana shield available to reflect damage going, and Avaki may try to go in, but that's going to hurt a lot if he does.
Avaki is dashing over to Malediction. Malediction is prepared for it. We'll see that in just a second, and that shield up as well. Safil going for the healing on Wololo, just trying to keep them up. This Cork can manage to give people a couple extra turns with just that little bit extra per turn. Both Kranor and Avaki trying to finish off Malediction. Won't get them just to 6 health here. Wololol able to get some bomb damage on 2 members of the enemy team. Malediction able to put that good damage down on Avaki. Looks like Goldfish, another whiff thanks to the dashing of the enemy team. And Honey Badger trying to predict where the enemy team will go, not able to as Field stays put. Wololol in that stealth field, but will be easy to hit with Safil in the same hit.
Avaki getting the slow down, dashing onto Malediction. That must have been the whole plan involved there, getting the slow so he cannot pick up that health globe in the end. He's going to die before he gets there.
These teams are locked in and ready. Safil once again just trying to buoy up Wololol, not worried about dealing damage. He's taking the view. I'm the support. The bubble going down on Malediction. We'll see if that keeps them alive, as the healer on Wololol certainly will. Avaki able to get the shout off on Malediction, but rooted in place in a not fantastic spot. Unfortunately, the bubble not hitting anybody, purely defensive. Bowie able to get the hit on both of the enemy team. They're ignoring Bowie and going straight for Goldfish at that point. Honey Badger again predicting, but Wololol able to stay in the stealth and stay out of enemy view. Kranor and Avaki do both manage to get direct hits for the takedown on Asana.
That's going to be game. Team Trash takes game number 1 over Guy Logic, man. In very dominant fashion, I must say. Nothing that Guy Logic really did wrong. It's just Team Trash handled their team comp exceptionally well and had a lot of good plays going in, especially from that Titus.
Now, that was definitely some solid play. They tried to get this double frontliner, and boy, did it sound good in theory, but just some solid play on both sides, but really that trash play to be able to Avaki keeping himself up for so long, Safil and Wololol doing the double team in the corner, and Kranor able to stay relevant, dealing damage, but at the same time so far away couldn't be hit. I mean, textbook play by each of those players for a very, very solid victory.
Yeah, anytime you want to figure out a good way to play Gray, you just got to find some Team Trash games and watch them on YouTube, I would imagine. So they are just about the best Gray strategists, I think, in the league so far. Very well done for them. We're going to see game number 2 coming up very shortly. I can't wait. Is Guy Logic going to pick off a game? Man, I really hope that they do. That's going to make the tournament super interesting and super make me super excited to see it coming up.
All right, so they should be going directly into the next pick ban phase as soon as they are ready to do so. We'll pull up the match for you as soon as it is ready. I think that they probably won't be going for the double frontliner strategy again. I think they tried it, and I don't see an easy adjustment they could make to make it work. I think if they tried it, they will be turned down again in the same way. So let's see what they come up with this next match.
I mean, if you're Guy Logic, what do you do at this point? You took frontliners away. 2 of the best in the game right now, frontliners away. Left Team Trash with the scraps basically to pick through. They picked up Titus, which is overwhelmingly understood to be one of the lower tier frontliners right now. And Avaki on Titus dominated their team almost single-handedly. I mean, obviously his other teammates helped out, no question about that. But he was in there 1v3 for a while, and he won. So what do you do?
That's up to these teams. I'm sure they are better players than I am, and hopefully we'll see something in here that can deal with that.
All right, we're going to see just how Guy Logic wants to play game number 2, if they alter their strategy or not. In my opinion, I mean, I know Lockwood's a big contested pick. They don't want to see Helio. They banned it out as well. I mean, do you let Gray through again? They're so good with Gray. Do you let...
I would not be surprised to see a Gray ban come out of this time. I think that was played extremely well.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't waste a ban on Titus, even though, I mean, that was a huge, huge boon for Team Trash last game. I think that's one of the few games we've seen where Rask is on the field and just got destroyed. He had no effect whatsoever in that match.
Yeah, and I think that there's not a lot that you really can ban out of that composition besides maybe the Gray, but do you really ban Titus out of that? There's so many other good freelancers that can do similar roles. I mean, you just pick up the Asana after that. You pick up, I don't know if a Garrison. Garrison has the shields to kind of compare with the heals, but there's really not a linchpin of that team composition you can take out and have it fall apart.
Looking at some of the stream chat there, we got a guy that wants a Titus t-shirt now. So Titus gaining popularity over the last couple of days, today and yesterday, getting picked up quite often in the Prep Phase League. I think he might be making a resurgence, and I can already hear Pepper Titan squealing with joy wherever he may be at this turn of events.
Pepper Titan, one of our favorite casters and organizers here at the Prep Phase. Definitely. So if you guys don't know who he is, stick around on the Prep Phase channel and the Prep Phase website, and you will get to know him extremely quickly.
No surprise, Team Trash gets to pick the map. They do pick Flyway Freighter. That's what they always seem to pick. First man coming out, Rask for Guy Logic, Team Trash, banning out the Helio. And looks like Guy Logic picked up the Lockwood first pick, and there's the Gray Celeste combo once again for Team Trash.
So Gray Celeste combo still there. It looks like Lockwood does manage to eke his way into this one. No Rask available, and the Asana frontliner being able to be picked up when it's not taken. They'll take that. Solid pickups from both sides so far. Nothing super surprising yet. We've got, some of the most favored firepowers. No Aurora yet, but a Finn, which is super favored as well. And hey, Asana. What team comp really doesn't like an Asana in it?
She can do it all. She's probably easily the most versatile frontliner in the game. Much like Lockwood from the firepower position, very versatile, can do just about everything that you want. You got the dash, you got the damage coming out, you have self-preservation with the shield out of Asana, and you have just the coast-to-coast ultimate that you can take. And Guy Logic picking up that Titus, I guess they liked what they saw, have a similar idea in mind.
They took a long time with that pick, too. They were really debating exactly what to get in that situation. I'm sure that they wanted Asana for themselves, and it threw them for a loop, but hey, when you see a Titus play like that, there is no reason not to pick him up for yourself. They'll pick up a Gremolitions to go along with that, so they've got that long range, damage over walls. They'll be having some people in the back with both Finn and Gremolitions, and hopefully Lockwood and that dashing Titus can keep their front line locked down to doing plenty of damage. Quark still from the other team.
Yeah, Quark once more for Team Trash. Is 2 games in a row that we haven't seen them pick Aurora. Kind of surprising to me. That's been their go-to support once Helio's off the field. So maybe they're trying to get some popularity going, or they have something in mind. It worked very well last game. Quark out of the action the whole game, but just keeping that defensive tether, healing up the single firepower, or one of the firepowers that they had, letting Celeste kind of get a little bit more aggressive. So that may be a key to their victory here again.
Well, and remember, the freelancers that aren't picked that often aren't necessarily bad. They just don't fit in the popular team compositions, or people that play in the teams aren't really up to speed on them. But apparently very comfortable with their Quark play. Will show you guys that he can be played in a high-level team composition. Just as, Titus was once thought of as, oh, he doesn't see a lot of competitive play. Still very strong if you know how to play him, and if you have a team comp that can benefit from it.
3, 2, 1.
No doubt about it. So, man, who's going to pick up game number 2? 2 pretty balanced team comps, to be completely honest with you. Gremolitions shines on these bigger, longer maps. So he has a much easier time of it than on Cloudspire, that we've seen him on the last 3 games straight. Lockwood, of course, very contested pick. Celeste as well. The only surprise here, I think, is the Quark and the Titus, but we saw them both last game. Both did very well for Team Trash, so they are split up this time. They can't be on the same squad, unfortunately for them. They are best friends anyway, Quark and Titus. You know that as well as I do. So, yeah, we're going to have to see who comes out on top this time.
There's some deep lore to this game. I was actually surprised when it came out, and they keep giving some hints about who likes who is friends with who is created with this. Definitely, you know, follow the Twitters and all that stuff for some extra hints there.
I just want to point out before anybody yells at me in the chat, I completely made it up that Quark and Tidus are best friends. I have no idea.
I think Quark is best friends with everybody. To be honest, Quark doesn't seem like he hates anything. He just wants to give you his loving radiation. That's all.
Who doesn't like a big blob of cancer following you around? I mean that's just a good idea to have around you, right? All right, let's see here. Looks like Team Trash doing the same thing, not going so far out with Gray this time, but still splitting off from the pack. And Malediction on the Lockwood doing much the same thing. So maybe they're taking a page out of Team Trash's book, trying to counter that and catch Gray off by herself this time.
We'll find out in just a minute, as it does look like these teams are going to clash here directly. Malediction will throw out the trap and be completely off base on the side. Unfortunately, with this map so wide, it's so hard to figure out where people are going to be, and you can end up completely away from the enemy team. That is what's going to happen to Malediction here, and really what's going to happen to Avaki's drone. Wololo does manage to pick up the buff here, and Cranor does run through a mine, but does get directly next to Gremolitions. Goldfish and Buoy off to the side. Interesting positioning in this game. Not the typical we've seen clashes around either the center lines. It looks like there still won't be some major conflict just yet. Little poking going on left and right.
Once we get a good look at her, take a look at Asana, zoom in real close, and you're going to see very clearly that Cranor has the skin that equals skill in this game, because everybody knows skin equals skill. That's the best one. So if you have the best skin, you have the best skill with that answer by far.
Looks like
So
Buoy
I
throwing out the knife,
on that one.
and Cranor trapping Honey Badger in place. Wololo will throw out some bombs to get decent damage on most of the enemy team, as well as blind anybody who dashes in or walks up to her. The bomb and Goldfish able to get not only no cover damage, but also trigger that knife, dealing significant damage, but Quark's healing will go a long way towards making up for that extremely early, especially since she's really untouchable this turn. Avaki in the middle of the map, but nobody's really there to punish Avaki. I don't think nobody knows where Avaki is. Look at the site.
Yeah, and look at what Team Trash is doing. They poked Wally Law out, got the might buff, got a little damage off, pulled back, even though he took almost half health damage, 50% damage that turn. It doesn't even matter. He's out of sight. He's out of mind. He's got Quark hooked onto him. He's going to be back to full health in 2 more turns.
Buoy trying to dash in. Cranor dashing around the side, dealing plenty of damage to the enemy team, and it's Honey Badger that's taking the brunt of most of it right now. Wololo with a miss, but Avaki able to get some damage on Honey Badger, and once again they're doing an excellent job focusing this enemy team, picking one person, getting them low.
Malediction decided to go to the enemy side of the map. Maybe not the best plan. Could have taken some cover there instead, but maybe he did want to go where Sephiel on the Quark ended up. But he's going to have to dash just to get out of here and try to live this turn.
That's the worst. When you move to a spot and somebody manages to take it so you're out in the open.
Bleed for me.
Looks like some turtle techs coming out early in this round. People expecting damage to come in. Quark's heal going off in the prep phase. As always, Honey Badger's going to dash directly onto Sephiel as Malediction dances past them. Avaki's hit will miss because of those dashes, but Sephiel able to get a leash down regardless, aimed at Malediction, I'm sure, and managing to catch that Honey Badger. Cranor and Wololo focusing down the support, who is now pretty much alone. And directly in between them again, Buoy running off to the side. They're gonna try and hit the Quark, but Honey Badger going pretty low himself.
Yeah, and see what happened to Honey Badger that turn. He and Malediction basically traded places. Malediction dashed out, Honey Badger dashed in for the support damage, but he paid for it because he wound up almost in the same spot that Malediction left from. So that means he took the damage that was meant for Lockwood that turn.
And if that gray shot had managed to hit Honey Badger as well, he would not be here this turn. Sephiel dashing out of this one, a surprise, as they could have done significant damage to Honey Badger, but Honey Badger is shielded anyways, and they're deciding to do some real focus fire on Goldfish. Also able to dodge the Malediction hit, the Tidus hit, so really a fantastic move, avoiding a lot of damage. Honey Badger still taking significant damage going low. The bubble doing work, hitting 3 people, but a root on both Titus and Goldfish will maintain the status quo. Unfortunately, Honey Badger's knockback does get both members of the enemy team that were directly next to Goldfish, but they were slowed anyways, and they can both still hit him.
Yeah, a great move by Sephil's Quark, understanding that his character cannot heal himself only if the ultimate is available, so has to avoid as much damage as possible in the early game until that ultimate comes out. Then he can get a little bit more aggressive, take a little bit of damage, and then heal it back up with that ultimate ability.
Goldfish Turtle Tech finally coming out as he realizes he is the target of the focus here. It looks like Kraner's going to dash in just to be able to deal that extra damage. They are really all in on this. A Vaki shot going to miss as Honey Badger gets out of dodge here. Is already out of dodge. Some damage coming down from Wololo. And Quark able to put some real hurt on Goldfish. Goldfish able to get a nice 2-person spray. The root coming in from Bowie on Wololo will keep them in a spot. And now Bowie's in a good spot to hit 3 members of the enemy team, but Goldfish still tethered and still super low.
Yeah, and notice Avaki is so slippery on that Gray. That's the first bit of damage that has befallen Gray this whole match, 8 turns in. Just passively running over a Grimulation Spine, so not any direct damage yet. And I think that's going to change this turn, but just notice the positioning. That is very, very good.
Goldfish throwing down some healing, trying desperately to survive. The cover will hopefully help them, but not from Safil. Looks like those darts coming out from Avaki will try and save a lot of damage from their team here. Healing coming down. Many characters as those healing buffs were recently picked up. Bowie taking a direct shot. Bowie going to hit 3 members of the enemy team, but is weakened for this turn. Malediction also getting a 3-man hit, building up a lot of energy and damage. The ultimate from Wololo managing to hit both Bowie and Goldfish. Still isn't down, but Safil manages to get that final hit to bring them low, and then Kranor sealing the deal with that spinning sword attack. Just fantastic as they manage to secure the first kill of the game for Team Trash.
Yeah, Trash taking the lead once again. Turn number 9, not as early as they did the last game, but that is important, guys. Taking the first blood demoralizes your enemy more than anything. So now they have the lead. They can kind of play back a little bit, be more passive, be more defensive, and just try to avoid the damage and pick off people as they come out.
It takes away options playing from behind when you're always having to say, well, I would do this, but we need a kill, we need that. And taking away options is really one of the things Atlas Reactor is all about. If your opponent doesn't have options, you know what they're doing, you can play around it. As Kranor dashes in, shielding their team, and they're turning their focus to Honey Badger. It looks like a one-on-one fight between Avaki and Malediction here. Usually goes in Gray's favor, these one-on-ones, but we will find out how that turns out. Damage just being stacked from Honey Badger and Titus on Safil. Wololo able to throw down lots of vision blocking abilities here, so that really, we're going to look at the sight here and see what blue team has sight on. I don't know if that's correct.
Well, regardless, Honey Badger surviving that round gives him an opportunity to launch that Grimulation's ultimate if he so chooses. Now, he could... No, he doesn't have the dash available, so he would have to Catalyst Flash away or just use the ultimate and die. There's no real way he's going to survive this round. Or this round.
Seville expects the ultimate and is using one of their own. The dash from Bowie coming in and Wololo coming out, so they're definitely expecting some significant damage coming in. Honey Badger able to explore it, and then this ultimate gonna come out, hitting both Kranor and Safil. Looks like not even Kranor, just Safil, as Wololo was able to get out of the way. Malediction also focusing Safil, spins in the middle, doing as much damage as they can, and that Grey drone able to finish off the enemy team. Safil and Kranor running next to them. Bowie had already dashed, so isn't walking through the ultimate and will be able to sit there, but Titus is very limited if he does not have movement available to him.
Yeah, and Titus, Bowie, learning from his mistakes last game, playing that Rask, ran through that Grey ult when she had it available, doesn't even move this time. So very well and very good counterplay there a little bit, but he is in a bad way.
He will get a shield from Goldfish early in the turn to help him out and hopefully slow Safil here. as Wololol sets up a trap. Looks like directly they're expecting Bowie not to move. Malediction dashes in as Safil jumps over the wall to the side and will be directly in front of Malediction for this turn. Bowie sword still able to hit Cranor. Cranor is going to lock down Goldfish away from the battle, so they can't really help as everybody's just turning off behind these barrels, behind these blocks to keep him out of the fight. They've effectively really limited the movement of Guy Logic.
Yeah, that's the power of Gray. I mean, she can control a battlefield, an entire giant area. She can just lock down and make sure nobody has anything to do with that spot, and if they are, they're in big trouble. Couple that with Celeste, with her trap right on top of it, that is super dangerous.
Looks like Goldfish still able to heal Bowie from that position, and with the bubble still on top of them, sitting at an okay position despite being trapped for a few turns. Malediction able to hit both Safil and Cranor, bringing them extremely low. The tether from Safil trying to get Malediction just a little bit lower, and the focus from Cranor and Wololol. Such a good single target focus as Avaki finishes them off in one turn. The trap still going off on Bowie, but with the shield and the heal, they are fine. However, the ultimate goes down to finish off Quark and take Cranor down to just 4 health. They will be on the health power up for next turn, but will that be enough?
Looks like they were trying to trade 2 for 1 that turn, with Malediction for sure going down and choosing to stay in the face of 4 individuals, but it just wasn't enough to take Cranor down because he had that geez, I just lost it. Cover bonus from the Titus ultimate saved his life.
However, it looks like Titus is dashing in this turn. Cranor able to dash out directly next to Honey Badger. Knows they don't have Splore available, so the safest spot for them on the map. Wololol able to steal buffs and deal damage to Honey Badger. Not sure where Bowie was going to end up. The explosion pushing Wololol into stealth, but that won't help them because everybody knows exactly where they are. Goldfish getting back in the battle with the ultimate available to them at this point.
May have wanted to push Wally Law the other direction so he stays next to Titus, because Titus isn't going to chase after that dash unless he takes the mod to do so, which he didn't. So now Wally Law has cover bonus from at least Titus, not from Finn. However, Finn is not the danger here to him.
Well, this will be a dagger that will pierce Wololol, hit Cranor as well. No cover bonus, 25 damage to each the next time they are hit. But everybody escaping from that center. Cranor off to the side, Honey Badger bouncing around as well. Grey Drone coming in to seal off that center area. They're hoping the enemy team lands there. Goldfish, complete miss as everybody had dashed out of the way, and they are pretty much just trying to reset their positions around the side, get out of the center from both teams.
Wally Law on Celeste, 1 turn away from that dash coming back up. Did just use the Flash Catalyst, so no way to get out of this damage coming in. That's going to be, like you said, 25 for the Dirty Fighting at least. Bowie's got range on her. He's should have cover bonus from that angle. Honey Badger may have the shot as well, and Dr. Finn.
Don't mind me.
Safil tethering up to Avaki, so Avaki will be safe from quite some time. And Honey Badger flashing directly after the dash, trying to stay safe from Wololol and just make sure that that dagger doesn't get triggered. It does fall off after 2 turns if not triggered. Malediction triggering the dagger on Wololol. Excuse me, that they didn't have the dagger. That was Wololol that had it, as Wololol's dagger does get triggered together with Bowie. Will take a lot of damage. So Honey Badger just flashing to avoid damage at 70 health, but still found by the enemy teams. Feel able to tether this turn if they want.
Yeah, 5 turns to go, 2 to 3 in favor of Team Trash. This game much closer and more contested than game number 1. Very exciting here, coming up to the end of the match. What are they going to do?
Only 5 turns left in a 2 to 3 game. Very close this time. Goldfish able to heal off rest of their team, just trying to keep everybody alive at this point. Safil's going to tether to Honey Badger, so without a full run, Honey Badger's going to have a tough time getting away as they just put some mines down for Safil at this point. Safil managing to maintain 2 tethers still with a pretty strong move there.
Remaining.
Excellent positioning from the Quark and the Gray there for Team Trash. Avaki and Safil understanding their characters very well. Safil has the tether, doesn't need to be in the face of Gremlinations anymore, just has to stay within 6 squares. to keep that tether active. Can be behind the wall in a safe position, but that's not exactly safe for Grimo, but he doesn't want to be anywhere near that tether.
So he's going to move directly away this turn, as it looks like Crano popping that shield, trying to make sure Malediction doesn't kill them. Crano is going to try and put some mines, or Honey Badger's going to try and put some mines in front of Crano, taking direct damage. Malediction trying to focus him as well. So is Goldfish, but the shield just enough to keep them up. Wololol managing to snag some buffs just to keep them, their energy pretty high, as now they have ultimate. It looks like the Grey Drum coming out for more damage on Honey Badger. That will be their focus target. And Cranor, ignoring Malediction, able to swing that root from across the map to focus. Again, the focus so strong on these
Returns
teams.
left.
Yeah, and you see the Grey ult coming available, as well as Celeste as well for Team Trash. Cranor with the Asana ultimate as well. In enemy territory, surrounded, however, has the ult to get away, and the dash is available as well. So we have to decide what he is going to do.
And it looks like he won't even hit with his dash. Is using it purely to get away. We will see. The trap is up from Malediction, so they might have predicted this. Did not. They decided not to. Cranor is going to dash through, dealing some damage along the way. Looks like the cell goes directly over Goldfish. They're just trying to keep him away from good positioning, so he can't use his ult, his healing, or his shields to good effect at all this match. Unfortunately, he's about to use it right now, catching only 2 members. If it was 1 square farther, would have caught 3. I'm not sure they even knew where Wololol was. I think they didn't, but managing to keep Avaki and Safil together, but away from the rest of the team.
Now, Titus has a decision to make. Does he stay and fight with the possibility of Cranor ultimating away to try to save his own hide, or does he dash out and try to survive in case Cranor stays to fight? Cranor has the advantage in health here, would not die if he were to stay.
Judgment from
Cranor is going to dash across the map into the middle, trying to get Malediction with some damage, as well as shield Avaki and Safil from Goldfish and Malediction. The shout manages to catch Cranor, so they will be weakened for this landing, as Bowie dashes over to the side of the map, just trying to stay alive here. Goldfish taking a little more damage than that drone, and they're going to focus Malediction now. Avaki, Safil, and Cranor all getting some good damage, bringing them for full to less than half health. A nice double hit from Malediction, getting Wololol and Avaki, but without focus from the rest of the team, not much else going on. Goldfish managing to get a nice spray, taking some damage in return from Wololol with that ultimate. Honey Badger able to push them, and they are just trying to keep this Celeste out in the open with these movement
1
abilities.
turn remaining.
All right, Malediction in some serious trouble now. Did not quite get his ultimate up that turn with the spray and pray. Missed 1 individual. If he would have got 3, he would have got it. But looks like he and Bowie in some serious danger here. Bowie kind of out of the way. Malediction, unfortunately for him, not.
And I want to highlight this, because this is such a smart move from a Quark. If you think you know which direction somebody is coming from, Avaki's going to put some damage on him. But if you dash at the same time as somebody else, if you both end up in range, your tether will not break. And dashes normally will break tethers even if you end the turn close enough. Just that little dash will get you out of the way. But with the Quark, dashing at the same time as your target will maintain that tether on them for the final kill there. Such a smart play by Safil.
Defeat.
Very good game from both sides. Impressed with Guy Logic there, putting up a very, very hard fight. But Team Trash, in the end, coming out on top 5-2, taking the win 2-0 in round number 2 over Guy Logic.
Very, very good plays all around. But Trash able to... Guy Logic wanted to... This is the matchup that they wanted to face, and I'm sure that they're glad. Again, these matches played for points and pride at this point, since they already won their game earlier on. But this is what they wanted. They wanted this competition, and I hope they're happy with what they got. Trash putting out a solid performance.